Are you interested in a fun, quick, and easy card that packs a big wow? Well, stay tuned. I'm going to be showing you just that. Hi, I'm Linda Anderson from Linda Lou Creates, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I love to make and send cards. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make a tent card. Here are the samples that I have made. Very easy to make, believe it or not, but man, what a fun impact it has. Inside is stamped as well, and here's one sample. Let me just show you the other colors that I did with these. These happen to be from the In Colors, the ones that came out last year. I have been so much playing with the new release of In Colors, I thought I'd come back and give these a whirl. So we have the Call Me Clover, Lovely Lipstick, Pineapple Punch, Grapefruit Grove. Today we're going to be making one with the Blueberry Bushel. Now these cards feature a new bundle from the annual catalog called To a Wild Rose. The stamp set, beautiful stamp set. It actually is a 3-step stamp with the flower. We're going to be doing all 3 steps today too, and the dies. I've used the flower die here as well as the leaf die. Buy these 2 together, you're going to save 10%, so keep that in mind. Let me show you as far as other supplies we're going to need here to make our card. First of all, the supplies for the card itself. Let's start with the card base. What's fun with this is it ends up measuring 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So what you need to do is take your 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, just cut it across the 8.5 side and get out 4 1/4. So this measures 8.5, 4 1/4. Score and fold at 4 1/4. There is your card base. Whisper White, you're going to need 2 of these, and one measures 4 by 4. I'm so used to the other size of card. So 4 by 4, this is going to be for your inside. Then for an added layer, this one actually measures 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. I have some of the new 6x6 In Color DSP, and this measures 4 by 4. This is the Blueberry Bushel. Either side, it is 2-sided. I thought I would go with the script side this time. For your verbiage, I used the word bless that comes out of that set. This is 1 inch wide, and then I just extended it out. I didn't really measure, because what I'm going to do is just give it a little angle snip, and there's going to be my sentiment for the front of the card. I have the largest stitched circle and a balmy blue, rather. I'm showing my age. A balmy blue scallop circle on the back. I also made a double loop bow here out of the 1/8 inch grosgrain ribbon in Blueberry Bushel. All the In Colors from 2018 to 2020, their In Colors come with this ribbon. Okay, inks. For the flower, I used Balmy Blue and Blueberry Bushel. For the leaves, Call Me Clover and Soft Seafoam. And for the words, my sentiments, Tuxedo Black Memento ink. I love my sentiments to pop, and very often I will use black to do just that. I need some pearls. So here are the pearls also that I am going to be using for the front of my card. And of course, dimensionals and a piece of scrap Whisper White. Okay, so let me clear off some of my things while I demonstrate how we're going to go ahead and stamp up this beautiful flower. Okay, so here's my Whisper White. The 3 steps to the flower, this is the most detailed, so this is going to be the darkest. It's just the line image. That's actually what I'm going to stamp with first. Now, if you notice, I did put a little tick mark on the back of the stamp itself. It is just my way of being able to measure to line up rather, the stamps. So I just used a Sharpie, put a little mark there so I know exactly where each of the 3 layers are going to go. So I like to start with the dark. You can really do this in any order that you want, whatever's comfortable for you. I like starting with the dark. That way when I go to the next 2 layers, I can see what I'm doing. So there's the beautiful outline of that flower. So I'm done with the blueberry bushel. Let me grab now the balmy blue. Excuse me. Step number 2 is this stamp. Has a little bit of solid to it, but it's not completely solid. So that's step number 2. So I'm going to go ahead and ink that up. A lot of my stamps that are bigger like this, I like to set the stamp down or the block down with the stamp up and inking it up that way. So here is my line. I know that I put it at the top of my cardstock here. So I will line it up without trying to get my head into the picture here. So this is the full strength balmy blue. You can stop here. This looks fine with having that little bits of white highlights in the background. I'm going to show you then how to do though the 3rd step to it. Now you can see this one is much more solid in regards to the stamp itself. Again, here I have my little tick mark. I'm going to go ahead, ink this all up in the balmy blue, but what I'm going to do is stamp it off. So this is going to be 2nd generation stamping then with this solid image. Okay, you can certainly use your Stamparatus for this. That would be perfect if you have multiples to do. Now here's what it looks like with the 2nd generation of balmy blue added on to it. So either way, whether you add that step or not, that is totally up to you. Okay, now the same idea with the leaves. Now I'm going to pull in my Call Me Clover. Let me get, that's the darker of the 2, so I'm just going to go ahead. I only used 1 leaf on my project. I have a little mark here on my paper, so I'm trying to avoid it. If you're wondering why I'm going a little cockeyed there. So there is now the darker of the ink, the Call Me Clover. This way I can see through it to add my soft seafoam. Okay, I am not stamping this off because it is light enough that I don't need to. And there we go. So I have 1 flower, 1 leaf that I would take to my die cutting machine and use the dies, the coordinating dies, to cut that out. I just happen to have already done that. So here's the flower. I've used a glue dot to attach the leaf, and then on the back I've already added my dimensionals then to make it a little quicker for us today. Okay, so we're done with our stamping here. Oh, I forgot to do the inside. So let's pull out this 4x4 inch piece of Whisper White. I'm going to bring back my blueberry bushel and the outline stamp. Now I'm just going to go ahead and just real quick just pop this in the corner. And don't forget your envelopes too. You want to make sure that you decorate up your envelopes also. So I like doing the inside of my cards for sure. I'll be honest with you, sometimes I do forget to do the envelope. I know, terrible. So the verbiage I'm going to use says "and grateful." And there we go. And that was done in the Memento black ink. Okay, let's go ahead and get started putting some things together here. I'm going to hurry up and get the insides put into my card. What's nice is the 4 1/4 square card fits into a regular size envelope, one of the medium size envelopes that Stampin' Up! Sells. So you don't have to do any extra postage in regards to that. So that's a nice thing about this particular size of square card. So let me go ahead and get the DSP attached down. I do like my layers. I think everyone knows that. I know I keep saying it. I feel like I'm kind of clean and simple to a degree, but then I just add the layers to it. So I don't know if that is such a term for a style, but that's what I'm calling it, is clean and simple with layers. So I'm going to go ahead now and attach this. This is the 4-inch square DSP to the 4 1/8 inch square piece of Whisper White going down onto my card base. Okay, now the only real trick to this next step is have something measured out for yourself. I drew what the size of a regular card is. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I just traced this out on my grid paper. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this down at the bottom here. To be able to fit into that envelope that I told you about earlier, you're going to put your circle on the top, but you can't go above the 5 1/2 inch line. You need to make sure that you're down below or at the 5 1/2 inch. So whatever size of die you have here to put your image on, whether it's a square, an oval, you name it, just make sure, that's the key to this technique, is to make sure that you don't make it go any higher than 5 1/2. I happen to already have my dimensionals on it. Sometimes I'll even go to the back of it and measure it this way, and that way I know. Maybe I'll put even like a little mark, a tick mark or something that I can eyeball where to put my dimensionals then for this. So let me go ahead and put this back down. Let me get off my dimensionals real quick. Okay, now I just want to make sure where my dimensionals are and where my 5 1/2 inch line is as well. So I'm kind of even on both sides. Notice I said kinda. And there we go. You just don't want, obviously, your dimensionals, or if you just use adhesive to attach it straight down, you just don't want that showing on the back. Now you can go ahead. Let's get the flower and leaf. Like I said, I used a glue dot to attach the leaf, and now I'm using dimensionals to pop it off the circle, the stitched shape circle that I used here. Oops. Again, I don't want my leaf extending out, so I did tip it down so it's within the width of the card. That's why I did pop 2 dimensionals behind these 2 leaves of this particular leaf here. All right, so there we go. There is our flower down. Now my sentiment, I need to get a couple dimensionals on the back of that. And there we go. I have a bad habit of tossing stuff off to the side and then losing it. So let me get my dimensionals on there. And we're going to go ahead and pop this on up too. So this, I'm using this edge to line up with the edge of my DSP. So there we go. Finishing it off with a couple of pearls. I just kind of randomly put them down. I like to go by 3s or odd numbers. So there we go. With that, one final thing will be the bow, and I'm going to use a glue dot for that. I'm actually going to pop 2 on just to make sure that it's good and sticky and that I have a lot of surface covered on that. So I'm just going to Pop that down. I don't know if you can hear in the background the thunder. We've been having some horrible thunderstorms here in Pittsburgh, so today is another day of rain. So anyway, so here is a tent card. Quick and easy, lots of fun stuff, but not a hugely involved technique for this. So let me bring the other ones back in to show you. So that's the blueberry bushel, the grapefruit grove, pineapple punch, lovely lipstick, call me Clover. So there are my 5 tent cards. If you like this video, I'd appreciate getting a thumbs up on that. I'd also like to ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and that way you know whenever I post any additional videos. These will be showing up on my blog with all those measurements. My blog is lindaloucreates.com. You can also follow me on Facebook. I do a lot of different Facebook Lives every Sunday. So that also search for Linda Lou Creates. That's my business page on Facebook. So I appreciate you stopping by and have yourselves a great day. Bye now.